everybody, and welcome to what could be the most important video you watch this entire year. Welcome to the Battlefront 2 clone skin tier list. I've compiled a list of every single skin and armor, including the reinforcements. So we've got the ARC troopers, the commandos, and the jet troopers to do as well. And we're going to be ranking these bad boys based off three key elements. Practicality. Is the armor practical? Is it well camouflaged? What kind of things does it have on there? Does it have holsters? All of that is going to go into consideration here. Next we have iconography. Is this skin a recognizable skin? Is it something you could instantly see? Okay, that's 501st. That's the 212th. That's the Coruscant Guard. How iconic is this skin? And third, and arguably the most important part, is the aura. Is this skin cool? And I'm going to rank them based off all of these points combined. Before we start this, let me just say, I'm going to start adding a random Star Wars Club Shito into every video that I do. And he's going to be in there somewhere at a random point in the video. The first person to tag the timestamp that he appears will get their comment pinned at the very top. And today, you're going to be on the lookout for the Amana Man. But without further ado, let's get ranking these clones. I might rank all of the Phase 1 clones together. A lot of the Phase 1 skins are all very similar. So I feel like we can sort of rank them as one thing. I think I'm going to give the Phase 1. The Phase 1 Wolf Pack is a little bit different. They've got a little bit of a different armor type on there compared with like just the sort of lines, the coloured lines of the rest of them. I'm going to give this one a B. What do we have here? The 212. Maybe I put them all at B. I do like the Phase 1 helmet though, but I'm more of a Phase 2 kind of guy. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put them all in B. We'll have the cooler ones in A, and then we'll have the rest of them in B, because there's just not too much going on. I don't feel like they can be any higher than that, compared with some of the other ones as well. You know what? I'm gonna rank the ARC troopers as well in this. These are around Phase 1 and Phase 2, but they haven't really changed over the time. These are the 212th Recon Division versions, specifically like the Geonosis type one that you see in the second Battle of Geonosis arc. If you've not watched that, it's a pretty good one. These have to be ranked very highly, I think. Like that, it's kind of like a scout trooper helmet from like an Imperial era, but like an early version. These guys, I think, were primarily used for vehicles, so like combat with ATRTs. It's got the, I think it's definitely got the aura, especially with Waxer and Boyle. So you've got two kind of named clones attached to these as well that are fan favorites. Probably rank them all in the same spot. And I'm gonna give this an A tier. I don't think it's any higher. Let's continue to put these Phase 1s in B. I know people will probably like get pissed off at me with this, but I just think this is where they are, really. The Phase 2s just have that edge on the Phase 1s. Controversial, but I feel like the 501st are the most iconic Legion in Star Wars, so I'm gonna just bump that Phase 1 up there. We're now moving on to the Coruscant Guard. Their Phase 1 skins are actually quite different to the other ones. They've got a lot more like sort of design on them with the red. Again, the Coruscant Guard needs probably no introduction, and I will go into more of the history of it on the Phase 2. White boy. A shiny. We're going to give this the white ones a C. I think we're going to give it a C, because I've taken up a lot of the B with this. And they're just normies, aren't they? Let's just throw these up on there. These guys are often found on the bridges of Venator Star Destroyers, operating the controls and doing whatever they're doing up there. They're not really, in my opinion, combat troops. They should be on the bridge, shouldn't they? They should be in the Venator. They shouldn't be out running around with no armor on. I feel like I'm going to give this a D tier. Practicality. What's he going to do? He's in a nice like velvet suit. But I think it's iconic for them dying, really. You don't really see them succeed. Often they're in the bridge and there's like commando droids storming the bridge and they get shot to death. So, aura-wise, nothing. Like I said, they've got a nice cotton suit with a velvet hat. Do you know what? I'm going to give this an F. And you can fight me about that as well. Let's get into it. Easy, we're on Phase 2 now. And straight away, we're going to start with the Wolf Pack. So, like I said before, these are probably one of the most iconic clone legions for anyone who's watched the Clone Wars. Their armor color is grey. It was originally, little fact for you, was originally like a maroon color, You can see it in some of the old Star Wars comics that came out around the same time as the Clone Wars movie, I think. They had this maroon colour, but I think after a lot of their Legion got destroyed at the hands of General Grievous, they decided to change their armour colour to grey in like memoriam of that event. That's pretty cool in itself. I'm going to say the Assault is probably the weakest. The Assault Wolfpack I am going to give a B to. You know what? I might have to shift these down. I might change this up actually, because we covered a lot of the Bs with these phase ones, and I don't think. Do you know what, man? We're gonna move the shinies down to D tier, and we're gonna move all of these phase one boys to C, because that's middle of the road, and I think that's where they are. Yeah, and then I'm gonna put him on B. That works. That is better for me. That I agree with that now. Let's look at the Heavy. Pretty cool. He's got like a unique kind of helmet design on there. Practicality wise, comparing with some of the other skins that we'll have a look at in a minute, there's not too much going on. I think there's better ones, to be honest with you, and I'm gonna chuck that in B. So let's look at the officer's skin. Okay, we've got a Kama little skirt. He's got the pistol holsters on there. He's got the antenna. He's got the wolf insignia on the chest. And I kind of like that helmet design as well. I'm going to go A. A with him. He's cool. Very plain. Very plain in my opinion. It looks like kind of the wolf's teeth that you've got on there, kind of motif there, but that's not really... He's more white than anything else, isn't he? He's more kind of basic, this guy. He's got the visor, but then most of the specialists do, so I'm going to give him a B as well. Moving on now to the 181st Armour Division. I think this is a Legion that was made for Battlefront 2, so I don't think there's a lot of history around them. They're an Armour Division ground unit consisting of infantry, all-terrain vehicles, turbo tanks, providing safe transport through harsh territories, and reinforced Republic regiments in remote locations. So these guys are kind of like a guard of vehicles, convoy kind of armored division. Is it cooler than like the 501st? No. They don't have a Jedi general attached to them either. And this first guy is just kind of a green stripe, isn't he, really? There's not a lot going on there. I'm going to give the Assault a C, because there's not really much going on with this guy. Let's look at the Heavy now. So I actually kind of like this a little bit. It is basic still, but I like sort of heavy green on this guy. He's got a little bit more aura. He's got a little bit more something about him. He looks a bit more grizzled. I don't know. I just like that paint job a little more. I'm going to go for a B with him. I think he's pretty cool. Right, I feel like this might be controversial. Okay, I use this skin for my officer quite a lot, actually. There's something about the fact that he's got the pauldron and not the Karma. There's no skirt on this guy. He's literally just got the pauldron. I think he might be the only like skin that does that, and I think that's really cool. Like that looks pretty interesting. I like the helmet. Of like the jaw is all green. I like this one. A tier. So now we've got the specialist version. This skin, boring. I'm gonna say it. He's just got a few lines on him, not much going on. I feel like I'm gonna give it a D, you know. Next up we have the 212th Attack Battalion. Need I say anything else about these guys? If you don't know who they are, where have you been living? This is the Legion under Obi-Wan Kenobi. You've seen them in the movies, you've seen them in the Clone Wars. They do a lot of iconic stuff. They're led by Commander Cody, another iconic character. Not much going on again with the Assault. They're just kind of the normal foot troops. I like the orange, but I also like the way that it's not just lines like a lot of the other ones are. Like it's got a bit more thought to it. It's kind of spread out. The orange triangle boys, I am going to give this Assault class a B. Okay, let's have a look at the Heavy. He's kind of plain. There's not too much to say about this guy, I don't think. I don't really even like the color scheme. It's the same as the Assault. I think just there's like a little bit in the middle there. Maybe a bit of a controversial thing. I like this less than the Assault even, because the Assault one is just more iconic. This is just kind of, I feel like it's trying a bit too hard and also doing nothing. I'm going to give this guy a C. This officer skin for the 212, I think he's one of the most interesting and standout skins on this game. I like the line down the helmet that looks like a bit of a skull thing going on. I use this one a lot as well on my officer. I think this is a very strong skin. Like, even for the detail of the fact that you've got only the one blaster holster. Oh, and the back, at the back there as well. I feel very strongly about this. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna give this one a S tier. I know. I think that is an S tier skin. He definitely has the aura. Practicality there. I mean, he's got a bloody rucksack full of grenades. Okay, the 212th specialist skin. Again, I'm going to say this. It seems like a bit of a pattern at the minute, but it's not, because there's some very good specialist skins. This one is a bit crap. In my opinion, what they could have done with this one is sort of like what they did with Battlefront 2 2005 one, where they had the helmet of like the airborne trooper. They could have put that in on this guy, but instead we've got kind of this plain Jane looking guy. And the plain Janes don't sit well with me, and they're going to get a D tier. Okay, next up, I think I have one of my favourite legions of all time, the 327th Star Corps. Prominent in the films on Fallujah, prominent in the Clone Wars TV show. They've got that kind of mustardy yellow colour. They are led by Aayla Secura, yeah? I mean, that's going to give them points straight away. Led by iconic Commander Bly as well. Before Disney took over, there's a lot of stories that involve these guys in like the Dark Horse comics and all that kind of stuff, where there was even this commander that I don't even know if he's canon anymore, but Commander Devis, I think he was called, and he was a commander like Bly in this legion, but he was red. He had like red colorings instead, but all the same kind of armor. These are some of the most unique and practical looking skins in the game. The pauldron and the Karma skirt on as well, and the blaster holsters on the side. As an assault skin, this outdoes a lot of the other ones. I don't even think you can argue with it. I'm going to go with this A tier. So if we look at the heavy, again, pretty cool, but dare I say, a little bit too much going on. You know what I mean? A little bit too much mustard on my hot dog here. A little bit too much yellow going on. A lot of yellow on the legs. Again, he's got the kind of practicality elements. I just don't. There's something about the too much yellow putting me off it a little bit. It's still good though. It's not a terrible skin. I'm gonna give this I'm gonna go with a B for this. Okay, right. Let me just talk about this officer skin. It is still sticking with the trend of the officer skins being the ones that are the most kind of interesting and cool. It will change. I promise that will change. But for the moment in time, look at this skin right now. That is pretty much spot on copying Commander Bly. I think minus the antenna at the side. He's got the visor instead. But it's his colours. You see how like they've got the yellow in there, but they've also got this brown. I think that looks so sick. You know, like the heavy skin that we looked at before, too much yellow. This kind of guy with that brown sort of mixed in there looks so sick. You know, this guy could be like second in command. S tier. Right, let's have a look at the 327th Star Corps sniper class, the specialist class. Compared to the other ones, I like this one a lot more. He's got like less yellow, got the visor. I do like the visor on the specialist classes, but it has to sort of be mixed in with something else, in my opinion, which this is. So I'm gonna give this a solid B. No, is it a B? Is it an A? I like it better than the heavy, don't I? I'm going to give this an A. Yeah, that's an A. I'm going to give that one an A. Okay, sweet. So now we're going to look at the 91st Elite Corps. These guys, again, a lot of history there. Interesting thing about these boys is in the films, they are in Revenge of the Sith, but not in this kind of way that we see them. They don't appear with the white armor with the green marks. But these plain versions with the green only really appear in the Clone Wars, I think, and this game. These guys are kind of known for their indigenous planet takeovers. They're like the guys you call in when there's a jungle or some kind of harsh environment that you need dealing with. Interestingly, their Jedi General is Yoda. I don't know whether you can tell because of the green, but there you go. Is that a racist thing or not? Not sure, but there you are. And they are led by Commander Gree, which is very cool guy, very cool clone commander as well. Again, with the assault, you can't really say too much because there's not too much going on. That's the same as usual. Aura-wise, I don't think that this assault skin is the best. I think if you were to choose between the Elite Corps and then the Ranger Platoon version of this, you'd probably go for the Ranger Platoon just because you get the camo. This guy's just kind of normal. I'm going to give him a C. I'm going to give this guy C tier. Just like that. Okay, so interestingly enough, there's not too much difference between this guy and the Assault. I have used this skin quite a lot. I don't really know why. I think it's because it's quite a clean looking heavy skin, and a lot of the other ones have a lot of stuff going on with them. But I sort of like how the paint is on this guy, like on his legs and his arms. And he's also got that kind of painted middle section as well. Something in my head just kind of makes me think that this guy's pretty cool. Is he like the best? Like the coolest, most iconic skin to use? No. I'm going to be fair, I think, and I'm going to give this guy a B. I think that's all right with me. I think that's okay with me. Again, this isn't helping my situation, is it, with ranking the officers really highly? I think this is a cool officer skin. The kind of just the Karma with no pauldron. Is this my favorite one? Not really. I think if I was to choose between this and the other green guy, the Armored Division, I feel like I'd go with the Armored Division guy. This guy, he's all right. He's not a bad skin. He's got a bit of aura. He's not dripping with aura, but he's got a little bit there. I'm gonna go with the B as well. Rank him the same. I think that's all right. I think that's fair. The Specialist class. I'm not gonna say too much about this, other than the fact that I think this is pretty. He's got an arrow on his chest pointing to his heart. You know, I don't know whether I'd do that in a battleground situation. Sort of telling your enemies where to shoot. I don't really like it. There's not much green either on it. It's just kind of got a little bit on there. I'm gonna give this guy, unfortunately, a D. The 41st Ranger Platoon. This is a strike team that's separate from the Elite Corps. It's in the same Legion, but this is like an elite strike team of that Legion. Are deployed to sabotage enemy lines and vulnerable installations, diverting attention away from Allied interests. So they're basically like spies, undercover infiltrators, and that is obviously why they have the camo. These guys are favourites for a lot of people that play this game. I think they're unique, aren't they? They've got the green visor up there as well. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna go. I just don't think there's something about that. Personally, I don't really choose these guys that much. I just don't really go with them that much. I think it can be a bit much. I know I'm talking about this like it's, you know, it actually means something, and it's very important. But yeah, personally, I don't really go with them that much. I'm gonna give this guy a B. Gonna give him a B there. That's okay with me. This one is good. This one puts it above the Assault, I think, for sure. He's got the little bag there, the little side pouch. He's got the backpack on, which also matches in camo. He's even got the little blaster pocket down there. This guy has, I mean, I can't argue with this one. He has the aura, doesn't he? I'm gonna have to give this guy an A tier. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at the officer now. I don't think there's really too much you can say about it. It's the same skin. It's just, even the paint jobs, it's just sort of the same. I'm going to go, I prefer the heavy on this class. I think he's slightly cooler. I'm just going to straight off the bat, not much talking. I'm going to give this just a B. Right, the sniper guy on this. He's got nothing going on. I really wish they'd add sort of elements to the snipers. There's not much going on with it. I think you have to give him points because of the camo, and it makes more sense for this Specialist to be camoed than the rest of them because he's obviously a sniper. I'm going to go and give this guy, I'm going to give him the same. I'm just going to give this a B. I don't think you can drop it any lower than that, really, can you? Right, so now we've got the 41st again. You've got the Elite Corps, you've got the Ranger Platoon, and then you've got the Scout Battalion. So these are like an even smaller group from the same Legion. These guys are specialized in reconnaissance and warfare over difficult terrain. You saw these guys were the ones in Revenge of the Sith, and they're also a super unique skin. Very sort of imperial, like a proto-imperial scout trooper. I think the camo in this, and like the sort of unarmored pieces, the trousers and all the bags and everything on them, they just look so sick, don't they? They're undeniably a very cool skin. I think I'm going to rank them all the same. It's just like color variations basically, but I'm going to give these guys, I think you can't give these guys anything other than an A. Need I say anything else about these guys? It's the 501st. You don't even need to hear any information about these. These are the most iconic Clone Legion of all time. under Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka, and then Captain Rex. Come on, they've been there from the start, the very end. Assault you can't really say too much about, so we'll talk about that with the other skins. But aura-wise, yeah, I don't think you can get any more. You can't get any more aura than being in the 501st, can you? They're the boys. These are my original obsession. Even the fact is, you could have gone with just a basic blue line down this whole armor, but you've got that kind of like spire in the middle of the chest, and then it goes out into a larger kind of stripe at the top. The blue shoulders. They're just, I think they've even got they've got like the jogging bottoms, like the tracky bottoms look, the striped lines on the side. It's just sick. I can't give, it's an assault, there's not too much going on, but I can't give it more. I'm just gonna give it an A. Might be a bit obvious, but I don't think you can argue with it. Okay, right. Let's talk about the heavy for the 501st, because I think a lot of people use this one. Again, he's got everything on. He's got the backpack, he's got the shoulder pauldron, he's got the bag. I like the colour design on him as well. I think this is just a very, very strong, iconic skin. It's giving off a lot of aura. I'm not even going to talk. I'm just going to give this one... I'm going to give this one an A. The 501st Officer. I like this guy. What I really like about this is the blue armor. He's got the blue skirt on and also the blue belt as well. I think that's pretty cool. I don't really find myself using him that much. It's a very cool skin. I think it's undeniably a cool skin. And I think what's going to happen with this Legion is I feel like they're all just going to go in the same thing. So I'm going to give this one an A. Yeah, the 501st Specialist. Arguably one of the most, the more kind of unique looking specialists out there. The little kind of slashes, the arrows there on his chest. Nice, actually has some paint on him. Again, I just don't think there's anything that I can do other than put this in an A. I think the 501st has to be in an A just purely because they're the 501st. Okay, the 87th Sentinel Corps. Again, these were made for this game. I think these are the guys that you use on the Battle of Naboo on this game, which I also don't know if that's canon either. And there's not too much information about them. It literally says, with expert in urban defense tactics, they were a task force deployed to allied cities at risk of coming under separatist occupation. So these guys are defenders. They're urban kind of defenders that you would leave in a city to defend it from droid invasion. You've got the kind of it's kind of a unique color, like maroon, like a browny kind of maroon color. With the assault, there's not much going on. They're not an iconic Legion. It's a nice sort of, I don't know. I don't think it's terrible. I'm gonna give this guy, we'll give him a C. I think that's fair. So the heavy version of the Sentinel Corps here is pretty much the exact same as the heavy version of the Armored Division, but they've just colour swapped them. I just don't think there's anything really you can talk about with it. I ranked the other one of this in a B, so I feel like I have to do the same thing here. I'll just drop this a B. It's quite a good one. So the officer version, Sentinel Corps Legion. Again, I think this is a pretty decent one. I think it's pretty cool. He's alright. I don't really have that much. The thing is, I don't have that much to say about these guys because there's not too much lore around it. But they're not a bad skin either, so I feel like I'm just going to give this one a B. And that's fair. I ranked the other one an A because I like that one more, so I'm going to give this one a B. Yeah, the sniper for the Sentinel Corps. I think it's okay, actually. Again, there's not too much colour going on and not much, added on there. But I feel like it's better than some of the other ones. At least you've got a little bit of colour in there. With the helmet as well, it's got that red jaw. I don't really have too much to say again. I'm going to just give this one, I feel like I'm just going to give this a B. I think that's fair, and that's alright. Right, so we have a very unique Legion. We have now got the 91st Recon Corps. If you don't know, these guys were a mobile reconnaissance group within the bigger Legion. And they were usually seen on bark speeders, and you can actually see them in the film Revenge of the Sith. They kill Jedi General Stas Ali. Anybody remember her? She didn't really get much screen time, but she is killed by these guys. That was their Jedi General. They have an iconic clone commander called Commander Neo. I do remember him. He's pretty cool. If I remember off the top of my head, he was also like quite a brutal commander. He wasn't like a very nice guy. As you could probably tell by Order 66, he jumped on that thing and just blew that poor woman to bits. They've got a lot of lore behind these guys. They're an original Legion as well from before Disney. Their armor is quite basic, apart from one thing, which is obviously the helmet. The helmet is clearly very unique. Like I say, I think the assault version of this, not really too much going on. I think there's better versions of that. I'm just going to straight up give that a B. Unique helmet, I can't really give it any. You're never going to see that helmet anywhere else. Right, okay, so the heavy here, a unique shoulder pad. I don't know what you'd even call those, like pouches on his back there. I think like this is a pretty cool class, like a pretty cool skin, quite unique. Again, you can sort of tell that it's built for like speeders and securely like scouting ahead on vehicles. It's kind of sleek, isn't it? I think the helmet gives it that vibe. I'm going to give this one, I think I'll just do the same thing, give this one a B. So the officer, the interesting thing about this is if you take that antenna off the side, that is pretty much virtually spot on as to how Commander Neo looks. If you remember him from the film, or I think he may be in the Clone Wars in like, you know, a few shots or something in one episode. I suppose that's pretty cool, but he's not really too dissimilar from the rest of them. Apart from that like red shoulder pad on the left of his body. Again, I feel like, yeah, I might just give this guy a B. Okay, right, hear me out with this one. I think the helmet for this Legion works so well with like the sniper class. I don't know why, it just kind of gels with it really well. If it wasn't a Star Wars game and you had some other game, like this would be the helmet that the sniper would use, like the sniper class would use in a different game. I don't know, it just kind of gels well with it. Again, it's not much going on, but I just, for some reason in my head, it just looks right. I think he's got the aura. This guy, he's got that sniper aura that just silently takes you out. I'm gonna give him an A. Why not? Give that guy an A. Okay, I'm sure you're all waiting for this. The Coruscant Guard. Again, it's a Legion that does not need any introduction. It was in Revenge of the Sith. It was heavily featured in the Clone Wars. These guys are the Guardians of Coruscant. They work as police on the planet. They work as armed forces on the planet. Peacekeepers. A very controversial clone commander, Commander Fox. He is a very controversial character as he killed wives in the Clone Wars and people hate him for it. And he also, I believe, is the guy that was really heavily trying to capture Ahsoka when she was falsely accused for bombing the Jedi Temple. So he's not really a liked guy, but he looks sick. He looks cool. And also another note, another clone commander, which was a very, very popular guy, was Commander Thorn. He was in like one episode of the Clone Wars. I feel like everybody will remember him though if you've seen it. He had the final stand on the kind of landing pad of the banking clan facility thing, if I'm remembering that right, where all the droids just like pop up, they come flying in, blow his ship up, and it's him with like a few lads left trying to defend the platform. He's got like the little wings. I think he's meant to be like Thor, isn't he? A legendary Legion. And even just the design of the red and the design of the assault guy here is quite unique. The Coruscant Guard is on the same level as the 501st and the 212. I'm going to give this guy an A. Let's give him an A. I think that's cool, that's fair. The most used heavy skin in this game is the Coruscant Guard heavy skin. I mean, look at this guy. It's like he's covered in blood, you know. He's got the backpack, he's got the shoulder armor as well. The design of this guy's color scheme is unreal. It is probably one of the best skins on here, and I don't think I could get away with ranking him anywhere other than an S. So now we have the officer of the Coruscant Guard, which again I really, really like. Again, I think it's just a very, very good skin, isn't it? It's very unique. I feel like, is it as unique as the heavy? Probably not. So on that reason, I feel like I'm gonna give this guy an A tier. I might, you know what? I'm gonna move him up. S. The specialist of the Coruscant Guard, I think he's probably one of the most unique specialists on the game as well. Just like design wise, like on the breastplate there, the two kind of heavy red stripes, the little red stripes all around him. I think this is a strong one. I think this is a very strong one. I'm going to give it an A. I'm going to rank it the same as the assault because it's pretty cool. Okay, so next up on here, we just have all of the phase 1 default appearances, the shinies, the white boys. It's an original clone, I don't know, you can't really go wrong with it, but Do you want to choose it over other clone classes, other clone skins? I don't think so. And I'm gonna go with, I ranked all of the phase 1s at D. So I'm gonna go with, I like phase 2 better though, personally. But this might be a personal bias here. I can't put it on C, can I? I'll just go, yeah, I'll put these all on D. They're just normal ones, aren't they? They're basic boys. Let's talk about the ARC Trooper. I don't know about you, but the ARC Trooper is probably my favorite version of a clone trooper there is. I've always been sort of obsessed with them ever since I saw the 2D Clone Wars back in 2003. You know, Captain Fordo, and there's blue ARC Troopers that come and escort him on that mission. Just unbelievably cool. And on this game, they're all pretty cool as well. Like the skins, they've done a really sick job with the skins on here. I'm going to rank I've not really separated the phase 1s and phase 2s. That's just purely because all it is a difference in helmets. And in the show, the new canon, I don't even think there really is a phase 1 ARC Trooper helmet. I think they just had purely phase 2s, or a prototype phase 2. So we're just going to go with that. And we're going to go with the default appearance, which is pretty sick. I'd probably say it's maybe my least favorite of the appearances, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, practicality wise, let's be real, they don't need anything else. They've got everything that they need attached to them. They've got even more armor plating and stuff than normal clones. Iconography wise, they are arguably the most iconic clones. Aura wise, it's off the scale, isn't it? The armor there is just off the scale. It's literally just going to come down to the sort of color schemes and stuff like that with these guys. I'm going to give the default guy a B. So let's have a look at the first one now, which is the Lambent Seeker. This is the one that I choose the least. I don't really like it that much. It looks a bit like a Nike trainer, you know, like an AstroTurf boot. He looks like he's wearing Adidas. I kind of like the skull sort of aspect on his helmet, but not really my favorite. I don't really like the kind of neon yellow, neon green. I'll go with a B. I'm going to put him the same level as their default appearance because I don't think anyone's really using these guys. I think the last two are the ones that people are going to use. This is trying to basically get as close as you can get to being 5s or Echo, really, isn't it? If you're playing this game. It's so sick. The blue and the black just... I don't know. Does something to my brain, man. I like this. I think this is... I'm not even going to talk to you about this. This is an S tier. And then I don't even think I really even need to talk about this next skin, do I? The Umbra Operative, arguably the most unique skin in the whole game. Jet black with orange color schemes, little orange highlights around the armor, on the arms and the legs, and an orange sort of skull over the front of the helmet there. Is it anywhere else other than S? It has to be an S tier. That's its place from the very start. Let's talk about the Clone Commandos. You tell me in the comments who's better, ARC Troopers or Clone Commandos. My personal view, I like the ARC Troopers better, but the Clone Commandos are undeniably sick. I can't remember off the top of my head where they were first introduced, but everybody knows the game. Everybody knows Republic Commando. Everybody wanted a sequel that we're just probably not going to get. Clone Commandos are the guys that you send in to do all the heavy work. Stealth missions that are too dangerous for regular legions to even attempt. These guys go in on their own. They don't expect to come back. The armor is super unique. It's not like any other clone armor ever. It's bulky, it's heavy. There's a lot of hidden stuff in that. I mean, practical wise, they've got a vibro blade in the bloody wrist. It's just cool. Look at the visor as well. The visor is probably the coolest part about it. That kind of blue, icy blue glow behind the eyes. If we're ranking the appearances in this game, default appearance is just all white. I think it's cool, but I think when you think Clone Commando, you think Boss, you think Sev, you think all those unique color schemes that those guys have. I'm gonna say B for the default white guy. I think this is one of my kind of pet peeves about this game. They gave us 3 appearances for the Clone Commando. There's not one of them that I really think is super cool. I feel like this skin is just a missed opportunity. I don't really think anybody even uses this, do they? We've got a little bit of a design in the middle on the chest. The colors aren't really the coolest, are they? They're brown and baby green. I'm gonna go with the same. I'm gonna give that a B. I don't think anyone's really super buzzing about it. The only thing that's holding this up is just the legendary status of that class of clone. Jungle Striker. Is anyone picking any other skin apart from this one when you're a clone commando, I'm gonna go with, why not? I'm gonna give this one an S. Why not? I don't think I can argue against that. Okay, so our final 3 boys here, the Jet Troopers. We all remember when the game came out, they were in this kind of like brown color. I think they made that color. The devs of this game just decided to put it as that color. And then when the final season of the Clone Wars came out, and these guys featured in it in their only appearance, I think, ever, they were in 501st Blue. So then they gave us a 501st Blue version of it because that became like the new canon. But then they kept that legacy appearance in there anyway if you wanted to choose it. I think the blue one looks a lot better than that weird kind of rust colour. Lore-wise, this particular incarnation doesn't really have that heavy of a lore behind it. Like, you've got it in the game, and like I said a minute ago, they were in the Clone Wars for the last 4 episodes, but like only in the first part. Blue incarnation, 501st incarnation at a solid B. The maroon incarnation I'm gonna give a C because I don't really think it's as cool as the blue one. I think the blue one's just got it a little bit more. However, the phase 1 incarnation of this, I did not realize the black on this looks really cool. Looks sleek, doesn't it? With that phase 1 helmet as well. But that black has really like swayed my opinion, and I'm gonna give this an S tier. Any clone armor, any stormtrooper armor that's meant to be like all white, you like color swap that to be black, it instantly makes it like 5,000 times cooler. There you have it. That is every single clone skin in Battlefront 2. Ranked, I think that's, in my opinion, solid. I think that's a solid tier list. Maybe there's some arguable points in there from people who think that I'm crazy or I'm wrong or I'm insane. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Let me know in the comments if you disagree or if you agree. Tell me what you would put as your S rankings. Do you agree with me putting the officer, the naval officer, down in F? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you want to see any more of these. Loads more that I can do. So if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Like, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.